And now I'll move to Professor Thiam. So following from this, why should women of African descent spend their efforts in really thinking about climate justice when there are probably more immediate needs of survival, of economic, let's say, distress? What do you think? What's the link, and how can we define that? Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Also allow me to extend my thanks to Dr. Diallo for his leadership on these issues. About 5 years ago, I was in Rovaniemi, Finland, where I was asked to talk about these issues. And I told them, and I will say to you what I said back then, that when we frame the issue in terms of it is just one of the greatest crises we face, we are maybe misframing the issue. The way rather we should frame this issue is that we've never faced a crisis like this one. And I would even go further and say, never in the course of history have we faced a challenge like climate change. A challenge so settled by the science, because I'm not even going to go through the numbers because everybody has done it. We know what the numbers are. The science is settled. And yet an issue at the same time so unsettled by our politics. That is the core of the issue. And I challenged the audience back then, telling them that when you look at our political systems, from dictatorships to democracies, we failed. We would have expected that at least with democracies, we would have fared better. And the sad news is we haven't fared better. And Jalila referred to it earlier. It depends on also on the choices we make about who we send to office and who do they stick with. And when you look at democracies across the spectrum, they all fail us for a variety of reasons. Two of the most important ones are what I call political myopia, short-termism. We are not looking for the generation of Kiera. We are stealing them blind. That's what we are doing out of our selfishness. And also, when you look at interest group concentration, we've created a political system or political systems where people literally buy their way into the system. As a result, you cannot tell them to kill the generations yet to be born. That's what we have created. And now, the reason why now it becomes even more critical is now you are adding onto an existing plight of women a challenge that if we do not win, it is not like the challenges we faced in the past. Because in the past, we faced challenges where we lose, we come back to fight for another day. When this one we lose, we might not have the opportunity to fight for another day. And that is really the way we should frame it. And when we frame it in those ways, then the next big challenge is, what have we done with ourselves to exclude women out of the equation, women out of the game, women out of the decision-making process? And we are not going to solve it until we decide that we are going to give women the agency they need to help solve the crisis. As a man, I'm here to say that it is the business of every man to give women the agency they deserve for this crisis to be solved.